Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked? Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. And we're with you 2 hours today from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota at GCN, corporate headquarters. And if you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Welcome, Rick.
Good morning. Good morning. My computer punctuated that one.
You know, Rick, we talk about physics and we talk about chemicals and Fukushima's on my mind, and radiation and toxic gases in Los Angeles. Those are all on my mind. But I wanted to share a story with you. We have an old 1999 Mercedes truck. It's called an ML320. Has about 250,000 miles on it. And the suspension needed attention. So my son and I put it up on the lift here at the farm, and we replaced the upper ball joints, front on all corners, the front and the rear. We replaced control arms, any of the items that had wear in them and they were loose, we replaced them all. But one of the things that we can't do, we don't have an alignment rack for a four-wheel alignment, and it's specialized equipment. So we go to a guy we've been going to for years. It's about 20 miles away. It's a company called Sawyer Tire, S-A-W-Y-E-R, Sawyer Tire. We've been going there for years because they've got excellent, excellent technicians. And so I made an appointment last week for Tuesday, 2 days ago. And the appointment was for 1 o'clock. So we were ready. My son and I were going to take the ML320 to the appointment. Yes.
I need you to turn your volume up for me.
Okay. How about, is that a little better?
A little better, thank you.
Okay. So we're leaving on time for our appointment from the farm, and the vehicle just didn't feel right. So I went back to the house, and we hardly left the driveway. So I went back to the house, and I called him out. I said, look, we're going to be a little late. Want to put the ML on a trailer and bring it to you. And they said, well, that's great because there's a truck ahead of us that they're having some delays with, and it would be perfect that we would be late. And I said, well, that's great. So we'll be right on time then. So we get there, and there's this red Dodge 3500 truck. So it's a 1-ton truck, and they've taken it apart, and they've removed the ball joints from it, and they're going to replace the ball joints and do the alignment. Well, they couldn't seem to find ball joints that fit. Now, all of the supply houses, the auto supply houses in town, they've been to, every single one. And they tried to put these ball joints in, and they were too loose. All the ball joints did not fit. They were, just a hair too small. They went to the dealer, the Dodge dealer in town, and the ball joints from the dealer were the wrong size as well. Now, this is not a jalopy. This is not an old beat-up truck that people have changed axles and parts and front end suspension. So the Sawyer Tire people even called Moog, M-O-O-G, and they are a premier suspension company, absolute premier. And when I worked in the behind the counter at the auto parts store in the 1970s, that was still the premier company. And those were the brand of parts that my son and I put on our truck, the ML320. Here's the point. That truck is still probably awaiting parts. They can't get the parts from Dodge because they don't fit. They can't get the parts from the local 3 auto parts stores. There are no parts that seem to fit properly, and they can't get technical support to tell them what to do. That is the status of America today. So what was the ramifications of this one truck? It was ahead of us, and it cascaded all the alignment appointments and tied up the alignment rack of this tire company. Now, what the tire company could have done, Sawyer Tire could have done, but they did not do, to their credit, was they could have put the ball joints that were supposed to fit, but were a little sloppy. They could have put them in and said, well, these are the right ones, have a nice day. But they did not do that because they didn't feel it was safe. Now, that brings another question to the table, and that is, how many of these repair shops would not do what Sawyer Tire did, not put the wrong parts in? Okay. How many companies would just say, you know what, that's what the book, not the book, that's what the computer calls for. That's the right part number. The manufacturer of the part number the part that came from China, they say that's the right one. And how many of them would have put that in anyway?
This is symptomatic of another real serious problem that nobody has noticed. It's called boiling the frog. In Grants Pass, Oregon, getting the food you want is now almost twice as difficult because 4 of 8 primary food distributing centers are closed. That means that literally there is half the food in Grants Pass every 3 days in a just-in-time delivery system. We're not even talking about getting parts that you need from another country. And what's happening is that people are not noticing that slowly, things are becoming more difficult to get a hold of. It's like boiling the frog. If you make it so small that you don't notice it, then it's almost too late before the frog realizes the water's too hot to get out of and dies. That it's symptomatic. Like in Safeway store, I normally buy their hot chocolate brand with marshmallows. They've had the hot chocolate finally, but not the one with marshmallows in it for over 6 weeks. And that's Safeway and Safeway brand. This is typical of, I want to buy this and I'm not going to get anything else. I want what I want. And all of a sudden, you don't see it for weeks, plural, at a time. And it's symptomatic of everything that's happening in our retail.
Well, let's think about.
Nobody knows this.
Well, that's why we're talking about it, Rick. Because although this is not a physics issue, except for the fact that the part didn't fit, this is a societal issue, a supply chain issue, and it is not just with this one particular.
No,
Dodge.
It's across the board in everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it goes to Verizon. Let me share that story with you. A member of our family wanted to get one of those inexpensive phones, Verizon, at Walmart. And I happened to be with the family, and I said, I can't believe this is happening. And I was against it. And, sometimes you do things that you don't want to do. So I didn't make a big scene, and a woman came up to me and she said, "Can I help you?" And I was just standing in the aisle away from the phones. And I said, you don't want to talk to me." Because she was from Verizon. And she said, I said, I really don't like Verizon. As a matter of fact, I despise Verizon. And that's how this conversation started. And, I had a smile on my face when I said it, but you don't want to talk to me. She said, "Well, how can I help you?" I said, "You can't help me." But this family member decided to buy this very inexpensive disposable burner phone, if you want to call it that, and a $15 Verizon 300-minute phone card. Well, the phone card didn't last 300 minutes. it lasted about 45 minutes. And it stopped working. So I said, well, let me try to help. Let me see if I can get this thing figured out. And I got on the internet and I looked, and there's a 800 number. You call it up. And so I got the number that was issued to that phone, and I entered it in to the prompt on a landline. And it said, I'm sorry you're having a problem with your phone. Click. So I looked further on the internet. There's no number to call. And then I looked at complaints. People are complaining that the Verizon prepaid phone cards, there's nobody you can talk to. Absolutely nobody. So that prompted me to call and try to lower a phone bill for our children who have cell phones. And I don't want them to have them either. But the phone bill was about $200 a month. And I said, no, I'm going to fix this. So I got on the phone with Verizon and I said, by the way, how does this work with your prepaid cards? Do you charge for minutes with Verizon to Verizon, prepaid to postpaid? And they said, no, that's free. That's an absolute lie. It's not true. They do charge per minute. And what happened was the accounting system on the prepaid cards has a flaw in it. At least the one I've been able to detect has a flaw in it. So I called up that woman who was a Verizon representative at Walmart. She works for Verizon, and she just happened to be at Walmart. And I told her. And so about a week later, I got a call from the district manager of Verizon. And he said, no, it's only that one phone. And I said, I'm sorry, but I don't believe you. I don't believe that only one phone has this accounting issue. I said, I don't believe it. And you know what the Verizon district manager and the Verizon people, you know what they're authorized to do? They're authorized to apologize. That's it. All they're authorized to do. And I said, here's what's going to happen. That phone is going back to Walmart. And whether or not it's within the 15-day limit is irrelevant. Because Walmart is selling something, they're making a promise that they can't deliver because Verizon's accounting system is not working properly. So I advise all of our listeners, if you have this problem with Verizon, bring your phone back. Bring it back and demand a refund. And if that doesn't work, then what you do is you dispute the charge on your credit card. And if all of us do that, they'll either fix the problem or get a black eye. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free Reputation reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your Longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
Class, Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Doc Ram, D-O-C, as in Dr. Ram, as in Richard Allen Miller. DocRam.com is with us. And, we just, I was just looking at the call screen, and Don from Texas, it's ringing again. I guess he's coming back. We're talking about the supply chain. And, Rick, so yesterday, I'm sorry, the day before I was talking, John in Austin, Texas. Okay. Here we go. John in Austin, Texas. You're on with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Welcome.
And you all pretty okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, good. I just wanted to chime in a little bit about firearms a little bit and making sure that you stock up on parts for your firearm that wear out, your spring pin. I build AKs and upgrade AKs, and I've been noticing that parts availability has been running real dry in certain areas. And then on the parts I've got, they haven't been to spec.
Wow, and so John, you're talking, did you say AK, as in AK-47? Is that what you were talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so let me see if I've got this right. Are you putting an exclamation point on what Rick and I were talking about with the ball joint problem? The parts are not to spec, and you're finding the same thing with gun parts?
Yes.
That's serious. That's why we now have a 3D printer available to make what we want in our own home.
That's true. I mean, but a lot of people have AKs. I guess that, the AR-15 platform is sort of the American gun, okay? Followed probably by the AK-47 and 74 as probably popular firearms that people own for self-defense. As he clears his throat. And what I've noticed is that getting has been like trunnion and things like this have been really difficult to get. And so
are you talking about trunnion? Are you talking about trunnions for automobiles?
No, for the firearms.
Okay.
And when you, like, I build from scratch. When I build my own, I actually go out and purchase the receiver and all the parts, put it together. I'm upgrading these firearms and designing them out to make them a better firearm than the stock AK-47. Okay.
So, are you recommending that those of us who have AR-15s, AK-47s, if we're lucky enough or fortunate enough to have an AK-74, that we have the spare firing pins, trigger group, those kinds of things?
Yes. And you can buy packs like that from certain part suppliers that sell a replacement package. That's usually a pretty good deal. I have about 10 of them, where the different springs and everything. See, the AK is real. The reason a lot of people like AK-47s, what I like builder, is I only have 7 moving parts to deal with. Okay, and only a few springs. And get a Glock pistol or a AR-15, it's a little more complicated, a lot more complicated, really, in a way. But having spare barrels, and spare parts, just in the event that, like, the market dries up.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And Mike Ma, one of our senior instructors, would certainly agree with you, John, in Texas, that the AK-47 and the Glock are the way to go. No question about it. John, thank you so much for your call. Dr. Richard Allen Miller and I will be right back. And got a couple stories to share with you I think you might find amusing. I'm Vin Finelli.
Removing bad taste and odor from your drinking water is easy. Removing the bad stuff you don't taste is what ProPure does best. Water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure countertop, inline, gravity, and household water filtration products. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or call 800-544-3533.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price can vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
So it's time to bash Mercedes, okay? They're not a sponsor. And so, Rick, we had this appointment, and we got a call while I was on the air from Sawyer Tire, and they said, we have a small problem. We just wanted to let you know that in order to do a four-wheel alignment on this Mercedes ML320, we need this special tool. And Mercedes has the tool. And so my son took the call, and he said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll have my dad call you back in about 15 minutes. He's on the air right now, and he'll call you right back. So in the meantime, he called the Mercedes dealer in Springfield, and he wanted to know what was so special about the alignment on the ML320, because all of our other cars have been aligned just fine by Sawyer Tire. They do an outstanding job. Sawyer charges $80. Mercedes charges $130. So why would anybody spend twice as much to have the same job done, at Mercedes, if you could have it done from another company who does a great job, right?
Well, that's what Mercedes does anyway. They designed a really well machine and then had to have special tools and special training to be able to fix it. And that's why Mercedes costs twice as much.
And that's where we're going with this. So my son said he'd called Mercedes to find out, what's so special and, and he said he gave up. He said he had made he had been transferred 5 times and nobody could help him. Nobody. So what I did was I went to the internet right after the broadcast and I looked up this Mercedes dealership, and there they have, you can look at the staff, all their smiling faces. And there are 18 smiling faces on this web page for the Mercedes dealership. And then I looked at who they are and what their job functions are, because I wanted to figure out. He made 5 phone calls and he couldn't get anybody to help him. Okay, he could get the phone answered by 4 people and transferred to voicemail by the 5th person. Okay, but he couldn't get an answer. So I'm looking at these titles of these people. There are 18 people on this, 18 smiling faces on this webpage. But here are the ones that I don't understand why these people are there. Number 1, there's a human resource director. The second one is a special finance manager. The third is an IT manager. The fourth is an internet director. The fifth is a finance director. 6 is the assistant finance director. And number 7 is a talent acquisition specialist. So, you know Joey, right? Well, first thing I thought of when I saw a talent acquisition specialist was, I'll bet Joey would call that person. Because it's her fault. It's her, if she's the person in charge of talent acquisition and our son can't get an answer in 5 calls. Oh, by the way, I didn't say that I made 4 phone calls and I said, I gave my name and I'd like to talk to someone about about an alignment. And I got transferred and transferred and transferred. And finally, on the 4th transfer, it was to voicemail. So I picked up the phone again and I had already decided, and I told Sawyer that we're going to go with them. We're not going to go with Mercedes. And so I called the talent acquisition specialist and I said, so I'm calling because I see your picture on the internet and I'm just wondering, what is it that a talent acquisition specialist does? Those are the people who pick the people for the team at this Mercedes dealership. So she's the one that goes and finds the talent. So I guess it's all her fault because they can't even answer the phone. And so she said, what can I do for you? And I said, you can't do anything for me. I've learned everything I need to know about this particular Mercedes dealership. And you know what? Guess who calls me back? The general manager. General manager calls me back and he wants to know what the problem is. And so I gave my laundry list delineating the incompetence of this particular dealership. And I said that it's very difficult to get a straight answer, a truthful answer. And it seems to me that some of the people that I talk to there just make stuff up. Make things up. And like, for example, where's the battery location on this particular vehicle? Well, it's under the seat. How do you get to it? Well, you pull this lever. And then you go, you look and there's no lever. Why is that? Because it's not under the seat. It's in the trunk under another compartment. What I'm saying is they don't even know all the answers. And this is a Mercedes dealership. So the general manager told me that Mercedes wants them to have an approval rating of about 92%. And his dealership is at 96%. Really? I can't get straight answers from these guys. They can't even answer the phone. So this is Mercedes, and this is considered top of the line, right? And so is John Deere. John Deere's falling down. Mercedes is falling down. This is a societal problem, Rick, and that's why I'm so angry.
It's going to get worse too in terms of service to the public.
That's the whole reason that I'm delineating these little problems that we have. Now, the parts department at Mercedes is pretty good. It's the service department that's falling down. And they know it because they put a new guy in charge. And whenever they put a new guy in charge, it's not because the old guy's doing, the previous guy's doing a great job. It's because the previous guy's fallen down. Well, anyway, that's just a snapshot of what's wrong with America. And the neat thing about this Sawyer Tire Company, this smaller tire company that we've been going to for years, they said, no, we can do it without this special tool. They can, and they figured out a way of doing it without the special tool. And the car tracks perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. So here's another thing that you need to think about, class. When you buy something, if you have to have special tools that are only available from a dealer, I think I would walk away from it. I really would. If you absolutely positively have to have service done at the dealer, walk away from it. Because if that dealer's not there, or they just want to overcharge you like Mercedes is known for,
well,
unless you have
that. I mean, my girlfriend bought a brand new car, and to change the oil and service it so that it remains under warranty is triple what you would pay locally.
That's exactly what we're talking about, Rick. That's it right there.
This whole thing is about marketing and not service.
Mm-hmm. Respiratory problems, Rick. I was talking with Miles. They're in his area. They are in your area, right? They're in our area. Every member of our family is coughing and hacking.
There are some viral flus out there that are making the rounds. The swine flu, the bird flu, avian bird flu, they're all out there and possibly been deployed by geoengineering. They are now considering deploying vaccines, aerosols, to make sure everybody gets it.
That's totally unacceptable to me.
Well, that's what I said earlier when they first started hijacking our water, and now it's going to be our air next, where you have to pay for it. And if you don't think China is not moving into the United States, all your agribusinesses, the big ones, the big farms, are all being purchased by China right now. And they're taking over utilities up in Canada. They run almost everything, and BLM is compliant with them. They are giving away our land. That's what Burns, Oregon, and Bundy Ranch, and all the rest of it that you're seeing around there. I have worked with BLM for 45 years and never, ever seen an NRAP in BLM management. How does that work? And really, why would they need an NRAP in the first place when what they're doing is trying to check for people that are, let's say, taking firewood illegally or fishing in streams without a permit? There's something else going on here, and it's slow, and really, what I posted on the Clintons yesterday is abominable. I mean, unbelievable. And when you realize that Donald Trump is no better, I have no idea what's going to happen shortly, but I can tell you it's going to be about your neighbors and your close friends. That's how you're going to survive.
I saw at the meetup, I was the MC of the meetup last Monday at Jimmy's Egg. Normally I'm unable to make it, but I was there last Monday. And I saw a level of concern in the faces that I haven't seen in before. I mean, it's the highest level of concern I've ever seen. As I was speaking, it was absolutely quiet. The meetup class was listening to every word that was spoken. They're very concerned, and that's just a sampling of what we're seeing. And I'm hearing that the caucus delegates are angry. They're angry at the politicians, and they should be. They absolutely should be. And I think it's kind of nice of those of us in the village who've remained calm and haven't acted out. I'm glad that we haven't, but I think it's coming. I'm looking at a website right now, Rick, and it says Bill Gates' insane quest to sterilize and depopulate the world revealed. And then it says Bill Gates' dream of population control is being accomplished through the extensive use of vaccines and abortion. And then it says the Eugenics Foundation of Bill Gates' father. In an interview, Gates talked about his family, in particular his dad, and I'm reading this, I'm quoting it. He said in the interview that his father was a eugenicist, and that for many years his dad was at the head of Planned Parenthood. He felt proud of his father's work. Now, isn't it Bill Gates that wants to lower population? He wants to eliminate carbon? Isn't that the guy? I believe that's exactly correct.
His whole foundation in the seed repository right now is to include special GMOs that make men sterile. And they've already deployed it in India and China, and it works. And I would not touch corn or wheat ever again.
Rick, as you say this, when you talk about sterilization. There's forced sterilization with a knife, and then there's sterilization with chemicals, and then there's genetic sterilization. That's pretty serious stuff. And if it happens to anyone I know, I'm going to be outraged. I might even act out. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Attention citizens. This man has received national attention for accurately predicting every major financial trend, including the market crash of 2008. His name is Harry Dent. And in his newly released book, he is making even bigger and bolder predictions that have the potential to devastate the world economy and your personal wealth. You can get a free copy of Harry Dent's bestseller, The Demographic Cliff, containing never-before-published information by simply visiting www.harrydentresearch.com. Again, that's www.harrydentresearch.com.
Hello, my name is Don Wiskin from HeartDrop.com, the distributors of Extendivite, the #1 heart drop that people have been raving about for years. Every February for the last 16 years, HeartDrop.com has had a Heart Month sale to help you stay heart healthy. For only $115 plus shipping and handling, you can get a 4-month supply of Extendivite in either liquid or capsule form to help you get started on your path to better health. Now is the time to stock up. Order what you need. Stay heart healthy all year with the #1 heart drop, Extendivite. To order your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
This is Dan Pillett. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Class, before the broadcast, I pick up the phone and call Rick. I say, Rick, how's it going? And this is like, just a few minutes before the broadcast, literally a few minutes. And Rick, what did you say? You said, boy, with all this bad news from me and Joey and others, it's awful, right?
It's noticeable now. That's the point I was trying to make. There's no escaping the fact that everything is coming apart at the seams.
And in that light, I'm looking at, oh, by the way, I posted that article that I just mentioned previously in the previous segment. This is an article, enenews.com. Former Japan official, I'm quoting, unstoppable contamination of Pacific Ocean is seriously menacing U.S. West Coast. Fukushima now undeniably a global security issue. Can't be brought under control by a single state. Experts, wave of radiation will be 10 times more than the entire world's nuclear tests combined. Says, goes on to say that the lack of the sense of crisis over Fukushima is in stark contrast to the gravity of the crisis. Fukushima is now undeniably a global security issue. The unstoppable contamination of the Pacific Ocean and the atmosphere with ionizing radiation from the destroyed Fukushima nuclear reactors is seriously menacing the west coast of the United States. Now, then it says, Japan is laboring under the consequences of the accident never before experienced by humanity, including the simultaneous destruction and meltdown of 3 commercial nuclear reactors. 4.5 years after the disaster, it has been shown that a severe nuclear accident cannot be brought under control by a single state. Now, Rick, a couple things. One, why would this be called an accident? This was an engineered event. We just didn't know when it would happen. Putting those nuclear reactors along the coast of Japan was an engineering disaster. It was a construction disaster. It was an approved by governments and corporations. It was an approved disaster with an unknown date as to when it would happen. But it would certainly happen. Would you call this an accident, Rick?
You see, we're not hearing a single thing about Indian Point today. And that's similar to Chernobyl and less than 22 miles from New York City. It has been declared by Cuomo a national disaster, not an emergency. There is nobody talking about it. And down in North Carolina, TVA, they have numerous reactors that are leaking. They're old. They're not working right. And then there's Hanford. And when you realize that it's global and that they're all failing, not just Fukushima. Fukushima has no solution as of this moment. There is no way that anybody has an idea on how to clean it up at this moment. And when you realize that DEFCO has hired the Yakuza as the cleanup, the whole thing's about money. And there's no intent because they can't. And so what is actually going on is that all the children in Japan are now experiencing thyroid anomalies.
Well, it's not just America, Rick. In the United States, we're experiencing thyroid.
Africa, where they bury Europeans.
Well, I think they've selected the wrong people to be involved in the cleanup. I think politicians worldwide should be rounded up and enlisted to keep us all safe. So they should be doing the cleanup. All these CEOs and board of directors members of, let's say, companies like General Electric, who builds nuclear reactors, those guys should all be involved in the cleanup. Hands-on, right there, on site. We'll be right back after these few short commercial announcements and top-of-the-hour news with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. DocRam.com. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Everyone all set? Cocked, locked? Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Doc Ram's with us, Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Hey, Rick, how did it go, your event with Nick Begich?
Oh, wonderful. We did 3 different radios like you each day that he was there. Carol Rosen had us leave early on one radio so we could drive to Ashland, and she'd do live before we had a planned dinner and then his speaking Friday night at the Southern Oregon Blue Skies Project. And then Saturday, we had maybe 100 people over for an open house from 2 to 6, kind of a potluck thing. And people came in from everywhere. It was very interesting. Everybody was engaged with each other. I seemingly have a lot of strange friends, and the area has a lot of very cool people. Richard Surrett is coming in to spend a couple of days here on the 7th, and then Matt and I are heading down to the city of Hollywood. And will you hear about what that event's going to be like? That's even bigger than anything I've ever done.
Do you want to share with us what that's about now?
So the city of Hollywood is, the city council is putting up part of their budget to educate their constituents that live in the city of Hollywood. And it's in this film studio district or whatever they call it down there. And Paramount may, with this big rock station, be participating, but it's the city trying to educate their locals on the need for being prepared for things like food and water. I sent you workbook number 2 that just went to press. That will be, Can You Live Off the Grid for 30 Days? And that's the theme of it. It's a 3-day event in Hollywood. And then now I'm starting to line up a whole bunch of others back in Asheville, up in BC, in Vancouver, BC, and now in Regina, Ontario, and Nova Scotia. Canada is really interested in this thing.
Sure, that's wonderful. Rick, do you think...
I would say, it's what you are, usaprepares.com. That's what we're doing, is trying to heads up on people to be at least semi-prepared for the curveballs that are about to come past.
Rick, when you say, can you live off the grid for 30 days, do you think that most people are in for an absolute shock when they learn the reality of this situation?
Yeah, look, even in Mexico City, 100 square miles of solid ghetto, you have never seen anything like that. Even there, every single house has 3 days of water in a tank on the ceiling, on the roof of every single house. Mexico City. The United States has no clue at all. And when, not if, the grid goes down, what's going to happen next is nobody is going to be able to deliver water. And if you think your air is being hijacked, it's bad. It's so bad that even with some knowledge, it's going to be difficult. You know,
and as you talk,
how much water do you think you need to drink each day, and how are you going to port that in buckets? Do you have the buckets? Up the road, and carrying that every day.
Well, you're absolutely right, Rick. And you've been to our house, and you know that we have a ProPure water filtration system in the kitchen, and we fill that up with an absolute minimum. Now, let's say we didn't have the dogs drink ProPure, water, just for drinking purposes. Let's say for making tea and coffee, just our household, absolute minimum 3 gallons a day, minimum. Now that does not include flushing toilets. That does not include watering plants.
Is going to be another curveball that people hadn't really thought about or considered, because water is what everybody uses for sanitation now, baths, whatever, and cleaning your fingernails, your hair. It's going to be a rude awakening until people understand what we're doing here. My local in-home project here is taking a traveling science laboratory and converting it into water testing for children as a networking from one grade school to the next.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Caterpillar. And it's a water testing laboratory that's mobile. It's going to be run by children, teaching other children that will eventually teach adults.
Rick, when we were considering buying the farm that we're on right this minute, I went to all the neighbors and I introduced myself because I wanted to know who they were and what they were like, and I wanted to know if they thought we'd get along with them, and if we thought we'd all get along. Okay, that was one thing. And then I asked them if I could taste some of their water, have a glass of water. And the reason was I wanted to know if I could detect anything in water just with my senses. Because the well that we would be drilling would be just like the well that they did drill. And it would probably be at the same aquifer. And I was convinced that the water was pretty good here in the Ozarks. And then I called the state of Missouri, and I asked them about the wells and the depths and so forth and the quality of the water. And they confirmed what I thought, that the water was pretty good and that we didn't have contaminants in it that at least the government knew about, the state of Missouri. So that's what we did. So class, if you're thinking about moving, you might want to do something similar. Meet your neighbors-to-be, ask them for a glass of water, introduce yourself, of course, make sure they don't think you're a threat, and then call the state and find out what the water's like in your area. Does it have, is it hard? Is it soft? Does it have clear water iron? I mean, does it have pollution? Is it potable? I mean, what is the case with the water? Because hauling water is really, really difficult. Really difficult. And Rick, that's one of the things.
In India, and look at where they get their water now in India. And that's approximately, if you want to know what it's going to be like here in 2 years, take a look at what's going on in Venezuela right now, today. That's where we're going.
Okay, and the anecdotal evidence, you're talking about supply chain problems, you're talking about inflation.
Government crackdown on food control. Who has the food and who's growing it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so as we continue using our smartphones and telling the government every step that we take and everything that we buy and everywhere we go and everything we say, text, and speak, we're doomed. We're doomed because we refuse to dump those cell phones. We refuse to dump those cell phones. And it's interesting that people that come to our house know that their cell phones are not welcome in the house.
If you want to know what China's doing, China is moving in to take over your mass food production, the large agri-farms, and they're taking over our utilities, just like they did in Canada. And so the new book on my computer this moment is called The American Farm, the Small American Farm for the 21st Century. And it's going to be by region, and it's going to talk about crops and how you have barter control for the specific choices you make. It's going to go like that because it'll be the American small farm that saves America, just like it did before. Not agribusiness, not transnational corporations, not the United Nations.
And what we're doing here at our farm class is we are trying to make our farm more efficient. And we're doing that by changing the location of where waterers are, changing the location of where we store our hay, changing the locations of where we move our cows, and we're also taking down some small saplings that can be pasture and grazing area for our cows. So instead of buying more land, which is going up by the second in terms of price, we are making the best use of what we have, as if it's a constrained optimization situation, which I believe it really is. And I think we should all be looking at that type of, we'll call it arithmetic, constrained optimization. Make sure that you've got the best scenario that you can for what you've got. Rick, here's what I wanted to tell you. I was talking with our son yesterday. We were in the truck together, and he was telling me about a neighbor of ours, and he said, "Yeah, the electric utility company wants to cut down some of his trees because they're in the way of the power lines." And I looked at him and I said, "Okay, so how about this? How about he calls the utility company and says, 'No, how about you move your power poles?'" See, we're not thinking like that. We're thinking that we have to comply. I'm thinking that maybe they ought to, if it's their problem and they can't live with the trees where they are, how about they move their power poles? The only problem with that is they'd want to move their power poles onto our property, and that won't happen. So I guess they've got this dilemma. And so what do? I suggest that if the utility company wants to cut down your trees, you charge them for them. So how much is a tree worth? $5,000? $10,000? I don't know. It's hard. Just say to a tree company, I'll tell you what, I'd like to plant 6 40-foot pine trees over here. How much will you charge me for 6 40-foot pine trees? They'll say, "Are you crazy? We can't do that." So it's an expensive proposition in my mind. And I think it's going to take some degree of discussion with the utility company and the owner of the property to let that happen. I won't let them cut trees down on my property, that's for sure. I'll do without electricity before I let them do that. And that's the plan anyway, because we are installing alternative energy. Rick, in Hanford, there's radioactive waste blowing in the air from Hanford. Let's talk about that when we come back. That's a pretty serious issue. And we'll talk about the little animals that eat the grasses and the plants, and then they pee and poop and farther out, and that radiation is spreading just by wild animals. Let's talk about that when we come back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Biochemistry determines your mood, memory, energy, and endurance. Your body's primary metabolic function is to make protein. One World Whey is a unique, non-denatured protein. This enables your body to have virtually 100% utilization, whereas typical whey protein powders offer no more than 18% utilization of protein. One World Whey also delivers life-giving frequencies to your cells. The net result for so many people is improved energy, mood, and elimination of pain from inflammation.
This technologically enhanced One World Whey has been really amazing for me. I'm 36 years old, and for the past several years, I've been struggling with lack of energy, drive, and stamina. And after just 2 weeks on this product, I'm feeling so much more energy. My yoga practice has deepened, and as a massage therapist, I'm able to see more clients than I've been able to in years. I've never felt results that quick with anything I've ever taken.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld, WHEY.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, DocRam.com, DocRam.com. Rick, I was looking at the radiation as displayed at NETC, Nuclear Emergency Tracking Center.com, NETC.com. And so last night there was a RADCON 4 alert in Arizona, and this morning it was in New Jersey, and then a little later on this morning it was New Jersey and Arizona, and then Rhode Island, and there's a RADCON 5 right this moment in, looks like Oregon. It's in Oregon right now, northwestern Oregon, RADCON 5.
Yeah, is that Hanford?
It's, let me spell it. It looks like it's spelled Tuala.
Oh, Tualatin. It's Tualatin.
Our year-end
Hold on.
transactions are now complete, and every vehicle in inventory must be sold regardless.
And that's in Washington, I'm sorry, in Oregon, northwestern Oregon, right this
Yeah, I
moment.
apologize, by the way, for my computer. Someone is taking control of my computer right now. I was just sitting here, and all of a sudden a sound came on. I can't believe it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we're dependent more and
probably.
We're dependent more and more on
that, and it wouldn't let me load it for the radio. Isn't that interesting? Took over my computer and started playing music to disrupt everything. Sorry.
Okay, so Rick, the radiation is it looks like in Hanford, Washington. The Environmental Protection Agency has called the uncontrolled spread of small amounts of radioactive waste at Hanford alarming. And it seems that the wind is kicking up this radiation. It's becoming airborne. And from my understanding, Rick, they have been storing in drums radioactive waste, liquid waste in drums. The drums are leaking. The plant is abandoned, as I've read about it, and that the leaking waste is being picked up by plants and grasses, and small animals are eating the plants and grasses, and as they wander around, they spread the radioactive waste through the animals' waste, and the circle of waste of radioactive waste is getting ever increasing, spreading out farther and farther from the Hanford plant, and we don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, this is Tualatin. That is a serious. The average is 15, and right now the current is at 131 counts per minute. That is a RADCON 5 level alert. This is what's happening everywhere. Rain and snow and the weather, where it's bringing this particulate that's hanging up in the stratosphere as a cloud from Fukushima. And that cloud continues to fall on Earth, and when it does, it's causing havoc everywhere. It's an international problem right now, and no solution.
No solution. Have you noticed this series of science fiction type, like a series of, I don't know what you call it, a show that talks about living underground and radiation and infighting? And have you seen more and more of this? I have.
There's all the different shows like Amerigeddon and some of the newer sci-fi that are coming out, like Fifth Wave. So it is Hollywood trying to alert through the media, different forms. Last night I watched a movie called Wag the Dog. That was an interesting movie. That was a Grace Thorne thing. She wanted us to watch it. The Dustin Hoffman and setting up Hollywood or run the presidency. Nothing we're being told is true. Everything is illusion. And when you realize that the people that are actually in power at this moment are possibly some of the worst criminals in world history.
Yeah, that's why I think that they should be involved in the cleanup, hands-on. I'm thinking that the politicians should be having shovels and barrels and stainless steel barrels and whatever the engineering, the best thoughts that we have about how to clean this mess up. I think the politicians should be involved, hands-on, doing it. They created this mess, and let them fix it. We'll be right back.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Hi, my name is Nick Lupo. One World Whey has been by far the best protein that I've ever had. I take it 3 times a day. Once in the morning as soon as I wake, once for a pre-workout snack, and once for a post-workout recovery drink. It has helped me transform and sculpt my body into what I have now. I began taking the product about 2 years ago, and boy, let me tell you, I'm in the best shape of my life. I've seen major muscle mass gains and have 0% body fat. I have had people at my gym ask if I compete in bodybuilding because of how lean and muscular I am. I used to suffer from everyday aches and pains from hard manual labor my whole life, and arthritis that runs through my family. But One World Whey has helped me take that everyday pain from a 10 to a 3. Some days I feel no pain at all, just full of life and energy. It has also helped my skin look younger and healthier. Thank you, Synergistic Nutrition, for One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, LibertyOnCall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to LibertyOnCall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's LibertyOnCall.org.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy. Have you ever wondered why farmers can keep their livestock lean and healthy just by feeding them minerals in a nutrient-dense diet? Before market, they cut off their minerals, leaving them to crave high-calorie grains to fatten them up. So if weight control is this easy, why does the medical system prescribe invasive surgical gastric bypass for humans? The truth be told, according to research, you can avoid over 900 different diseases just by getting 90 essential nutrients daily. Check us out on the web at sonsoflibertyteam.com and order your Healthy Start Pack and get your 90 for life. or dial 855-301-TEAM. I said essential, not optional, and every day. Easy. 90 for life on the web at sonsoflibertyteam.com or call 855-301-TEAM. That's 855-301-TEAM. That's 855-301-TEAM. Check us out on the web at sonsoflibertyteam.com. At sonsoflibertyteam.com.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, class. And I was looking at InfoWars during the break, and the headlines say New York Times columnist jokes about assassination attempt ending Trump's campaign. And the quote is, "Good news, guys. I've figured out how the Trump campaign ends." And it goes on, and I have a problem with this. There are a lot of people we don't like in politics. However, laughing about the assassination of someone, that's a real problem for us at USA Prepares. So New York Times columnist Ross Douthat caused outrage after he joked about how an assassination attempt could end Donald Trump's presidential campaign. Quote, "Good news, guys. I've figured out how the Trump campaign ends," Douthat tweeted last night. So this guy is in hot water, that New York Times columnist, and I certainly can't respect someone who says something like that, regardless of how we feel about Donald Trump or any of the other candidates that are in the ring. Rick, that was just my thought. There's a new technology called Li-Fi, Li-Fi. Wi-Fi, W-I-F-I, is wireless fidelity, and now the new technology that's been demonstrated in France is called Li-Fi. Ultra-fast technology uses light, and it's supposedly 100 times faster than current systems. So think about it like this. Let me try to paint this mental picture. So instead of wavelengths traveling through a room or an office complex or a school classroom or down the hallway or in your home going through the walls, there's this new technology that's 100 times faster, allegedly or reportedly, and it uses light and it can hit the speeds of 224 gigabits per second. So there would be, but if your device can't see it, it will not communicate with it. So it has to be, your device has to see the light. It can't go through walls. Now, my question for Rick is, as these speeds go faster and faster, and we're looking at the the spectrum is 400 to 800 terahertz. Rick, do you think there are concerns about those kinds of communications in that frequency band, 400 to 800?
I don't know. I'm going to have to research it. There's dosimetry at all bandwidths. And so being exposed to all kinds of bandwidth frequencies has effects on you as an organism that's electromagnetic. You are basically an electromagnetic organism. And as such, electromagnetic fields are going to dialogue, converse, and alter you.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know for a fact that, absolute fact, firsthand experience, that you can send information on light. There's no question in my mind, because back in the 1960s, when I was in elementary school, I built a little device, and I used a parabolic reflector, which came out of a flashlight, and an incandescent flashlight bulb, and I modulated analog signals on that light bulb, that incandescent light bulb, reflected it, focused it on a photocell, short distance away, and amplified the light that was picked up by the photocell, and you could literally hear a human voice being transmitted over a light beam. There's no question about it. And I experimented with different filters, red and yellow and green and blue filters, to see if it had any effect, and it did not on the transmission of audio over a light beam. That was in the 60s. It was very low power. It was 300 milliwatts, and it went a very short distance. But now we're talking about, increasing, in the terahertz frequency range. And, I don't know, but, you can drill holes with light. Lasers can do that. Lasers can cut right through steel. I've seen a 1 watt laser.
Certain light bands in the long ultraviolet, for example, will cause skin cancer. There's dosimetry in everything. It's just a question of amplitude and exposure, like ionizing radiation. You have a certain background noise, and when that environment increases 10 times, it has in America now, that's what NETC is about, is that dangerous to humans? Well, probably not really, if you realize that at 1,000 times, I would put a dosimetry badge as a high-energy physics protection of knowing if I had been exposed to enough radiation I need to take a pause. Now, and what we call that, by the way, is LD50, lethal dose 50. That means exposure to this amount of radiation is going to kill 50% of you. That's how that measurement works. Isn't that a needy kind of cool way of measuring things? It means 50% of you are going to be dead. And the other, who knows, sick, damaged, whatever. What we have going now is something completely out of control. It is only about making money, and we've got to stop this nonsense immediately. And in terms of ionizing radiation, the story there is turn the switch off.
So you're talking about shutting down all of these nuclear reactors.
When I was up in Nova Scotia, I was at the north end of Nova Scotia. It's like an island, and I watched the tide in a normal day go 60 feet. And the buoys that we use out in Oregon here with the rising and fall of the ocean tides and the path of the moon, that's enough power to power the entire eastern seaboard. There is no need for all the 400 Chernobyls that are currently sitting on fault lines on the Tennessee Valley Authority and in the Midwest, Madrid fault line. It's crazy.
Rick, I remember being in meetings.
That's what it's about, money.
I remember being in meetings in the corporate world, when I had a job decades ago. And no one would ever get away with designing something that had a catastrophic failure during its lifespan. No one would ever do that because it was insanity. And that's nothing compared to what we're talking about with these nuclear reactors.
They had no design for how to deal with spent plutonium rods. And they left that to future science. As we evolve, we'll have a way to take care of it. And here we are at the end of days, and there is no solution. Only a couple of individuals that made a bunch of money off it. General Electric's, all of the Daiichi-like plants in America are leaking now. They're over 20 years old. They're not clean, and they're leaking.
Rick, in my own little way, I have chosen to boycott certain companies that have committed crimes against humanity. And one of those companies is, in my opinion, General Electric. And I don't buy anything that I can avoid that is any way tied to General Electric. And that's just the way I look at it. I don't want anything from General Electric. I do not want to help fund their operations. And I'm wondering what would happen if all of the shareholders just decided to sell their General Electric stock. Wouldn't that be a neat thing? Wouldn't that be neat? And we held accountable every member of every board of these companies who commit these crimes. We held them accountable and we prosecuted them. Wouldn't that be a neat thing? Then they'd get their act together. And then we do the same thing with these government types. And we hold them accountable. Rick, as the climate changes, there's a post on the internet, on your website, docram.com, that addresses the sea levels rising, And so what happens? Well, there actually is some good news. Washington, D.C. becomes underwater. But there are other cities that come underwater as well as the sea level rises. Miami, Florida, and most of San Francisco. Rick, do you think that is a real possibility that the sea levels will rise? And
they are rising. It's already acknowledged that they're rising. The amount of glacial water coming off of Greenland right now is staggering. The global warming of what is literally happening with the ocean currents and the need for a reboot. Just looking in the Gulf of Mexico, that whole thing is lined with oil globules down on the bottom of the ocean floor and has affected the Gulf Stream. It's no longer going in there like it used to. It's changed because of that oil spill. That it's slow boiling the frog. You're not noticing things around you because they're happening so slowly that, like weather changes, that you don't cry out and say, hey, what's going on? Because it's slow, like the amount of food that you can find in Grants Pass today compared to last year at this time. You don't notice the difference, and yet there is the unmistakable mark of the beast.
As I walk around the farm, Rick, I look at the trees, and I have to tell you, I've said this many times, and at the risk of boring our class, the trees look sick. They really, really look sick, and they're dying.
They are sick. They're all sick. All the trees are being affected now.
And
that's your lungs. That's the part that cleans the air and gives you oxygen to breathe.
Mm-hmm. And the trees, class, I'm not kidding. The 40, 50, 60-year-old trees really, really look sick. And the trees that are older than that, the large limbs are just falling off. The bark looks sick. The leaves look sick. The trees really look sick. And if you look in the woods, and here's your homework. Wherever you live, look in the woods around you. Or when you travel and you see the woods, look at how many trees are falling down, lying down. The decaying bark, the decaying trunks, the decaying limbs that are on the ground right now. Just look at the amount of it. You just won't believe how many trees are dead where you live. We come back, let's talk about this black radioactive dust. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
You're right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, class, and docram.com, docram.com. And that'll take you to his Facebook page, which has great posts, great articles. Rick, I'm looking at one that says Exposed, Hillary Clinton's Sex Scandals. Can we tastefully do this?
I don't know, man. She's creepy. Has a picture of her lover and how she has been covering up other people. And then they have a Navy SEAL that comes on and blasts her for lying to the public, trying to, when she went over to Iraq or wherever it was and was Syria and was under fire. She wasn't. And he busts her good. And that's posted there as well. She's a liar. And he busts her. And he's offended because of how she uses our military and how we feel the codes of honor of someone giving up their life for America. The whole thing is a mess.
Yeah, class, if you see images of Hillary in the news, they must have some fantastic artistry going on to make her look good, because if you see her the way she really looks, she does not look anywhere near as well as they make her look on some of these images they have of her. I mean, when you see the wrinkles and
she's the one running Washington D.C. right now, and I have concern. She is as bad a criminal as her husband, and those two videos that I put there document that, including one from a Navy SEAL.
And Rick, you've got another one. You talk about the E. coli outbreak as the smoking gun in the Chipotle sabotage.
Oh, yeah. was set up. That the strain came from a laboratory. Get a grip. I mean, dirty pool or what?
So this was designed to take down
The party, close them down. It did. And now they're discovering it was espionage. It was done intentionally. It wasn't that there was an outbreak because of their codes and ways of cleaning things. They were set up.
Yeah, remember the days when we used to be competitive and we tried to build that better mousetrap so that commerce would come to us because we had a better product, and now it's sabotage, underhandedness, lies, misrepresentation. I mean, it's horrible. The American way is
blatantly
horrible.
And get away with it. I bet you nobody is going to become accountable on this E. coli problem. And who did it? I would like to see that come to pass, and who did that and why. I'll bet that's an interesting story.
So, class, if you want to catch up on these articles, docram.com. And Rick, Arnie Gunderson, an engineer and former nuclear engineer, said that they found some radioactive black dust in Japan, and he said as people are driving over it, walking over it, and this black radioactive dust was wherever they went, and
that's
they
what's
collected.
happening in Japan. At some point, that land will no longer be habitable, and then eventually it will fall down that shelf into that trench in the ocean and not exist anymore. And it will be like Mu, have a dark history in mythology. That's how it will play.
And
really
so, Rick, is there anything that we can do about this radiation in terms of our lives? I mean, we have to breathe the air. Do we wear masks?
The problem is the particulate that's coming down in the aerosols and geoengineering is in nanometers. That means there's nothing you can wear to protect yourself. It does mean that when you come in from outside, you leave your shoes at the door and that you have some kind of hat and coat containment room where you do not track any dust that fell onto your hat or shirt, and then you take a bath before you crawl into your bed.
And we start looking at greenhouses, right, Rick?
That's it.
Our own growing.
Aquaculture and further. Working with closed systems. You don't need the environment. That sense of it.
Rick, thanks so much for being with us. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration system and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
BuySellMakeOffer.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com. You got it?
BuySellMakeOffer.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com. Better selling, better.